Overall, down almost 2%, so clearly some amount of profit booking or pressure setting in there, and closing around the 10,600 mark, cracking that in trade today. We've got the Sensex also down heavily, and the Nifty bank down about 3%. So that's clearly where a large part of that pressure came in from. In fact, if we take a look at the losers first, then today, we've got a whole spate of names on the downside. So Shriram Transport, RBL, 7-8% there, BHEL as well, and a downgrade coming in on that one from Citi. Bandhan Bank was down 4%. IOL Chemicals, which was buzzing yesterday, down today about 9-10%. India Bulls, IndusInd Bank, 5-6% cut there, as with an Axis. We had a Vodafone down 5%. Aisha cooled off as well. Z was down 4-5%. M&M Financial seeing a strong cool off. Interglobe was down 6% in trade today. So it's giving you a flavor of the market, and actually a fairly cross-the-board correction that we've seen today, even though it was led by financials. Maruti also down 4%. SBI, Hindalco, some of the other names there. ACC also a 4% cut coming in on that one. Piramal Enterprises, Mindtree down about 3%. We had Hero Moto, Kotak Mahindra Bank, some of the other losers there. So auto across the board for sure, also seeing a cool off coming in. And from some of the heavyweights, L&T, TCS, ITC, Sun, HUL, a whole host of them, in fact, that continued to lag as well. What managed to hold out, perhaps, Biocon, of course, news-driven, IGL, and a few select pharma names. Bharti also just holding on, of course, to gains in today's session. But otherwise, clearly a day for profit booking. Avan?
Yes, indeed, and we're wrapping up around the 10,600 mark, though do remember we have been below that level in today's trading session. The broader market's too weak. I just want to reiterate some of the newsmakers. There's Reliance Industries clearly waiting out for commentary on the 43rd AGM. The auto pack as a whole has been very weak. The SIAM data really reflecting what the lockdown has done, a 60% drop in the passenger car sales. Everready, that stock locked in upper circuit, the Dabur promoter family picking up an 8.8% stake in the company. Wipro watching out for their earnings. Do remember the full impact of the lockdown is likely to be felt. We'll be waiting out for the commentary from the new CEO. Bharti Airtel as well. Are there going to be any concrete announcements later this evening? And the TDSAT, remember, has refused the immediate payment to try to stop the premium plans by telcos. HDFC Bank has issued a clarification saying there's no question of the matter having any bearing on the loan book or causing any loss to the bank. Mindtree came out with its quarterly show. Profits at 213 crores. The EBIT was flat, and revenue from operations at 1908 crore rupees. CK, let's get in your views then. We've clearly put a pause to the rally. Do you think that there'll be an extension of this move on the back foot?
Well, if you look at the banks and financials, it does seem that could be a possibility, because today the bank Nifty came down with a gap in the morning, and it has been quite unable to even pick up a modicum of support, even though there are so many stocks and it's spread across banks, private, public and financial services. I don't think any of them really attracted any kind of buying, though many of them dipped to support zones. Now that's not very good news, because if it were to continue, then the bank Nifty has potential to slide by another 400-500 points to reach about 21,000 levels at the minimum. And if that were to continue, it would persist with a downward drag on the Nifty itself. So we are not looking at a very good picture going away for the day. Now what has probably saved the blushes just a bit could be some pockets of positivity here and there, and within the pharma, within a few FMCG, etc. We need to see this become much better tomorrow, and unless there is some good news or some better developments overseas, it may be a little iffy for the bulls. It's a bit of a touch and go situation for everyone in the market right now.
Yes, it certainly is. But today we wrap up 660 points lower on the Sensex, with the Nifty at 10,609. Thanks so much, gentlemen, for joining in and sharing with us your views.